This is Eagle Owl, and today we'll be talking about CJ Gardner Johnson versus Cooper Dejean, unfootball related. Also, we got to talk about Dallas Goedert. Yes, he's looking the ball. And lastly, is Saquon Barkley overpaid and overrated? But let's get straight into it. All right, so let's get straight into the topics today. CJ Gardner Johnson, yes, he dropped a mixtape, and I'm talking about basketball. Yes, I'm talking about basketball. And look, CJ got game, man. Him and Gilly the kid was balling, and CJ Gardner Johnson looked like a decent point guard, I would say. And I raised a question on Twitter. Who would you pick? CJ Gardner Johnson or Cooper DeJean? Actually, I said CJ Gardner Johnson, the best basketball player in the NFL. Just a little trolling a bit. I give it to DK in the NFL, but CJ Gardner Johnson, man, looked like he a solid point. He passed the rock. He got the layups, a little shot, and I like how he play. Like if 5 on 5, if we had a 5 on 5 right now, I would want CJ Gardner Johnson on my team. He passed the rock. He gave you opportunities to score. He'd lay up here and there when he got the lane. But Cooper DeJean, man, he comes down like, yo, I'm dunking on anybody in the way. I ain't seen no highlights of Cooper DeJean passing the ball. I ain't seen no highlights of Cooper DeJean shooting the ball. But he will dunk on you. He's showing that athleticism. So, me, I would rather have CJ Gardner Johnson on my team. But them two playing 1 on 1, I gotta give it to Cooper, man. I gotta give it to Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean looked like the better baller as far as 1 on 1. 5 on 5s, I gotta rock with my boy CJ Gardner Johnson. But let me know who you got. All right, so let's talk about some real football news and some things I wanted to go over. So it was this thing, word on the birds was floating around that the Philadelphia Eagles got an A as far as offseason moves, which is great. They rated us first. And I just found out, just a sidebar, I got Disney Plus. So I didn't know that come with ESPN Plus. And I just happened to log in. And then like, oh, if you got Disney, you got, I'm paying for this bundle I didn't know about. Paying for Disney Plus for my kids. Then I found out I got ESPN Plus. So I guess it works out for both of us, right? So I'm able to read this article by ESPN. Why do they have us rated A? What moves they like and what moves they didn't like? And let me go over the article, some things I took out of it. All right, so this is one part of the article, and it say the biggest move extending AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. I like that move as well. Obviously, you get your two, best weapons on the team. Of course, extending them is the best thing. It said move I like. It says swapping edge rusher Hassan Reddick for Bryce Huff and getting a third round pick. Now that's a move that wasn't a fan favorite, but I get it. Like a guy that's writing the article and you stepping back, like, look, Bryce Huff is younger, he's cheaper, and he has a higher upside. Whereas the Hassan Reddick, he's out of his prime, so it's probably only down from here. And shout out to Hassan Reddick chilling in Japan, doing this thing, playing the Jets out. But in all seriousness, I can see why that move is like. We just got this thing with Hassan Reddick with our hearts because we always look at it like, what we been in the Super Bowl with a Hassan Reddick? But if you step back and look at it, it's like, okay, you get a third round pick that can turn into a second if things go right in New York for him. But that's a good move. If you think about it, it don't come in 2 years, within 2 years, but it's still a good move. You got a third round pick for a 30-plus-year-old pass rusher. And it said the most disliked move, and this the one I wanted to touch on, is signing Saquon Barkley for 26 million fully guaranteed. Just like I said, a lot of fans didn't like that first move. It's like it's the total opposite. Like Eagles fans, it's like, is Howie Roseman, he know how to work the cap, and he signed the best running back in the league, or one of the best running backs in the league for that amount. And the masses really don't like that move because they feel like we could have got somebody else for cheaper. And we tried to sign DeAndre Swift. Remember, Howie Roseman offered DeAndre Swift a contract, but he tested the market, and literally soon as the market opened up, he signed to the Bears. So was there a little tampering there? Possibly. Possibly. But we tried. We really tried to keep DeAndre Swift around, but can it game well? I don't think he was ready to be that number one. Plus, I didn't see no running back coming out the draft, whereas though he's a game changer like a Saquon, or he has the potential of being a Saquon. Like it was no B. John Robinson or Jameer Gibbs coming out the draft this year. So we had to pay somebody. It was a lot of good running backs out there. You had Josh Jacobs. These dudes was looking for big contracts, and how we was able to pay him. And Kellen Moore wanted Saquon. But I'm gonna go over more of the article, and this is why they say they didn't really like the Saquon move. So they go into more to depth about the Saquon move. Said I wouldn't have paid Saquon real money like they did, 26 million guaranteed, but he should be an upgrade at running back, adding to the team's plethora of skill position riches, along with AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and tight end Dallas Goedert. Now they get it. They just don't like the money aspect of it. Like, why give him 26 million guaranteed? But you gotta play the market. You gotta play the market. And to me, again, you got a weapon. You got more than just a running back to me. You got a guy that could split outside. You got a guy that can run the ball. You got a 3 down back plus. He's really a weapon. So I don't get it. And then, Giants fans coming out the woodwork saying stuff like this. Friendly reminder, if you're over the age of 12, you shouldn't be upset about Saquon Barkley left the Giants. In fact, you should be happy that the Eagles gave him the most overrated running back in the NFL history, 12 million annually. Giants fans are so upset. I can't wait till we go to MetLife. I gotta go to that game. And Saquon gotta have 100 plus yards. I mean, man, day after day after day, they won't let this thing go. He wanted a contract. Y'all didn't give it to him. The Eagles did. So what? So be it. Giants fans are in their feelings about this. Because when you look at their running back room, it's not it. Daniel Jones, he's going to have a better season. But without Saquon, I can make a huge case that the reason why they went to the playoffs and beat the Vikings, Saquon played a huge factor to that. A huge factor. So them trying to play him out now, I'll be mad at the front office. I'll just be mad. I'm like, yo, if Howie did something like that. Let's say he did something like that with AJ Brown. I'm like, yo, Howie, why didn't you? And he went to a contender. I wouldn't be mad at the player. I'd be mad at the front office. It happened with Deshaun Jackson. Like, if fans wasn't going crazy on Deshaun Jackson, we was like, man, the Eagles is just stupid for letting him go. Like, if you want to take it a little further back about the Brian Dawkins thing, we know Brian Dawkins was supposed to retire Eagle. We like, man, why they ain't just pay him, man? We ain't come crazy or nothing like that at the player. We was mad at the front office. So, hey, that's Giants fans for you. They salute in their front office, but they going crazy on Saquon. That makes absolutely no sense to me. No sense to me at all. But speaking of a guy I expect to have like a breakout year and prove a lot of people wrong, is Dallas Goedert. So Dallas Goedert, he did some fundraiser thing or something, some camp thing, I think in his hometown, if I'm not mistaken. And he spoke to the media a little bit, and he said some things in the matter of, I love being in Philadelphia. I'm going to give them everything I've got and let the chips fall where they fall. I still feel like the best years are ahead of me. Dallas Goedert. Now, Dallas Goedert, again, with all these moves and stuff being made, he's the most interesting guy to me because we know what Saquon is. We know what AJ Brown is. We know what Devontae Smith is, right? But I don't like when fans come at him with his injury history, right? The past 2 years, Washington, when he got hurt, it was off a dirty hit. The year like after that or whatever against Dallas, the dude jumped on his forearm and put all his weight on Dallas Goedert forearm. It's not like Dallas Goedert been having sprained ankles and stuff like that. Dallas Goedert, man, I think he's going to have a phenomenal season, because Kellen Moore liked to use the tight ends. He liked to use that wide receiver 3. Of course, he's going to use his 1 and 2s, but that tight end, you got to think these tight ends that he had in the past with Dallas, they had some big years under Kellen Moore because Kellen Moore liked to utilize the middle of the field with athletic tight ends. and athletic wide receiver threes. That's explain the draft of Anaya Smith and you getting a Paris Campbell. But I'm just saying, man, Dallas Goedert, I think he's right, man. I think he's still got a lot left. I think his best years are ahead of him at the moment we speak, and he's going to have a breakout year. He's going to have a breakout year, man. But I want him to stay healthy. I do. But to say like he's people alluding to him being injury prone, I just think that's completely false. I think it's completely false. I think the injuries that happened were just freak accidents. But he gonna bounce back. I say 700 to 800 yards, but they're gonna be productive yards. And I'm booking it. He's gonna play the full season. I believe he's gonna play the full season, and he's still gonna be Dallas Goedert. He's gonna run through people, run people over, get them blocks, and I think he's gonna play the full season. Again, prove a lot of people wrong, and maybe a Pro Bowler, maybe a Pro Bowler, because he's going to benefit off the Saquons and stuff like that. Because people are going to forget, and they're going to match him up against like linebackers and stuff, and he's going to eat them matchups up. But hey, man, what do you think and how do you feel about the news today? The Saquon Barkley, CJ Gardner Johnson versus Cooper DeJean. Oh, yeah, before I wrap it up, CJ Gardner Johnson is working, man. He's putting out videos of not only him playing basketball, but him like working on his footwork, him moving like in the sand and just preparing for the season, man. And I love it. I love it for CJ Gardner Johnson, but he's out there working, and it's nothing like getting a lot of cardio playing basketball and just having fun, man. Every day on Instagram Live, damn near he in the weight room. Oh, I love what CJ Gardner Johnson doing. He really wants to win. But how do we feel about Saquon Barkley? How do we feel about Dallas Goedert? But this is Eagle Al, man. I'm a